your exam in TLE are the basic drafting, business math, basic electricity, basic plumbing, cosmetology, foods, carpentry and masonry, basic electronics, and entrepreneurship. So last time, I think it's last March, so we already discussed the 25 question, first 25 question, I think. And now we will continue our discussion. Okay, for a while. Okay, so I think our last topic is about the different types of electric conduit. So now we will proceed to our question number 26 for our continuation. So again, especially those who are here in our Zoom room, so I want you to participate so you can type your answer on our chat box and then listen to my explanation about the rationalization and answer. Okay, so I would like to remind everyone, so I want you to apply ano, the nawawala. Okay, so i-apply natin yung ating pinag-aralan last time. So yung elimination of choices, kung ano yung best choices na pwede nating piliin. Okay, so let's begin with the question number 26. So para marami tayong mga question na pa-discuss. Okay, so are you ready, everybody? Okay, so let's proceed. Question number 26. Let's begin. It is a law that states the current is directly proportional to voltage and inversely proportional to resistance and is known as A. PEC, B. Law of resistivity, C. Kirchhoff law, and D. Ohm's law. Again, I will repeat the question. It is a law that states that the current is directly proportional to voltage and inversely proportional to resistance, and it is known as A. PEC, B. Law of resistivity, C. Kirchhoff law, D. Ohm's law. So what is the answer? Okay, so most of you answered letter D. Okay, letter D, which is Ohm's law. Okay, the correct answer is letter D, Ohm's law. Okay, Ohm's law, it is defined as a relationship between the voltage, current, and resistance. And when we say PEC, so of course it is eliminated to the option. So it is stands for perfect electronic conductor. Also, it is an idealized material. So it is only a materials that use for the conductivity equivalently and zero resistivity. And when we say law of resistivity, it is the resistance of substance that is directly proportional to the length of the substance. And when we say Kirchhoff law or Kirchhoff, the pronunciation, it was the first described by a German physicist, Gustav Kirchhoff. So it is the how the current and the voltage work within the circuit. Then for our question 27, in Ohm's law, to define the unknown voltage in the circuit, the formula to be used is A. E is equal to I times R. B. E is equal to I divided by R. C. I is equal to E divided by R. And D. R is equal to E divided by I. Again, in Ohm's law, to find the unknown voltage in the circuit, the formula to be used is, what is the answer? It's letter A, B, C, or D? What is the answer? Okay, so from our FB Live, from Rowena de Guzman, it's letter A. Okay, so the correct answer for number 27 is letter A. It is E equals to I times R. Okay, so everybody, please. Okay, so for you to be able to know the formula in Ohm's law, so first you have to know the symbol, the unit of measurement, and of course the abbreviation. So for letter E, E is stands for the voltage or V or E. And for letter I, it stands for the current or current of the amps or amperes. So it must be I or letter A. And for R, it stands for resistance or the ohms. Okay? So para mas mabilis ninyong maintindihan or for you to be able to easily understand and to know the formula, we have the what we call Ohm's law magic triangle. Okay? So everybody please see this image. Okay, so that is the Ohm's law, magic triangle. So if you want to find the voltage, ayan, so imagine this and always remember this Ohm's law magic triangle. Okay, so on the top, we have the V or voltage. And then on the lower left side is the I or the current in ampere. And then on the right side is the R or it stands for resistance or ohms. Okay, so that is very simple. So if you find the voltage, just eliminate the V and then you can find this V is equal to I times R. And then kapag hinahanap naman natin ang current, so it stands or the formula is current is equal to B or voltage divided by R. And then if we find the resistance, it's R equals to voltage divided by I. All right? Okay, so that's why in number 27, to find the unknown voltage in the circuit, the formula to be used is letter A. E is equal to I times R. So for our next question, for number 28, so the resistance of 230 voltage incandescent lamp in 300 ohms, what is the required to operate the lamp? A, 0.85, B, 0.77, C, 1.30, D, 7.74. Again, the resistance of 350 voltage incandescent lamp is 300 ohms. So what is the required to operate the lamp? What is the correct answer? It is A, B, C, or D. Okay, someone is answered A. The other is answered B. How about the others? It's A, B, C, or D. Okay, so for our number 28, the correct answer is letter B. It's 0.77 ampere or A. 0.77 A. Okay, so let's find out. Okay, so the formula is the I is equal to V divided by R. So I is equal to 330 voltage. So divided by 300 ohms. So it's equal to 0.7666, or we have to
Round off, ma'am.
yes, yes. Sorry, nawawala ako. Okay, so you have to round up. So from 0.766666, so we have the 0.77 A. Okay, for the next question, a toaster takes 10 amperes from 120 volt line. So the power is A, 12 watts, B, 130 watts, C, 1,200 watts, and D, 120 watts. Again, a toaster takes 10A from a 120 volt line. So the power used is, what is the answer? It's A, B, C, or D. Okay, so everybody from this room answered letter C. So the correct answer is letter C. So now, let's find the power formula. So ang hinahanap natin ngayon naman ay power. Okay, so like what I said a while ago, you already know the Ohm's law. So since alam nyo na yon, mas madali nyo nang ma-identify ngayon yung paghahanap ng formula in terms of power. So again, kagaya nung ginawa natin kanina sa Ohm's law, the most important things to do is to know the symbol, kung ano yung mga signs and symbol na nagre-represent sa kanila. So P stands for power in watt, and then E is for voltage in volts. And then I, same kanina, is current in the amperes, and then R is the resistance. So now, the power formula, you can use the power formula in three ways. So it depends upon kung ano yung problem natin. So ano yung hinahanap sa problem. So if you will find the power, so P is equal to I times I, or P is equal to I to the power of 2 times R, or P is equal to E to the power of 2 times R. So depende po kung ano hinahanap natin. Then, kung current naman, current is equal to power divided by voltage. And then, if you will find the voltage, so it is equal to power divided by I, or current in amperes. Okay, that's why the answer in number 29 is 1,200 watts. Or P is equal to E times I. So P is stand for 120 voltage. So times, E is equal to 120 voltage times 10 amperes. So it equals to 1,200 watts. Okay, next. For our number 30 question, how many kilowatts in the water heater if it draws a current of 10 amperes and has a resistance of 23 ohms? Again, how many kilowatts in the water heater if it draws a current of 10 amperes and has a resistance of 23 ohms? Okay, the choices, letter A, it's 23 kilowatts. B, 2,300 kilowatts. C, 230 kilowatts. And D, 2.3 kilowatts. So what is the correct answer? Someone is still typing the answer. Okay, so from our FB Live viewer, so Sir Joel Alolor answered letter D. And also from our Zoom room, they also answered letter D. So the correct answer is letter D. It's 2.3 kilowatts. Okay, so let's find out. Okay, so letter D, 2.3 kilowatts. So P stands for I to the power of 2 times R. So equals to 10. Of course, the times natin, multiply by itself, 10 times 10 times 23, so equals 100 times 23, so equals 2,300. So para makuha natin yung 2.3, we have to convert it in kilowatts. So to convert it, we have to divide it in 1,000. So 2,300 divided by 1,000 is equal to 2.3 kilowatts. So the correct answer in number 30. And how many kilowatts in water heater? If it draws a current of 10 amperes and has a resistance of 23 ohms. So the correct answer is letter D, 2.3 kilowatts. Okay, next, for our question number 31, it refers to any lawful activity undertaken on a continuing basis involving manufacturing, purchasing, selling, marketing, and financing in order to obtain profit. Again, it is refers to any lawful activity undertaken on a continuing basis involving manufacturing, purchasing, selling, marketing, and financing in order to obtain profit. A. Cooperative. B. Business. C. Management. D. Entrepreneurship. Okay, ang bibilis ng mga nasa Zoom participants. Okay, so all of you answered letter D, which is the entrepreneurship. Okay, so now let's uh, find the meaning of the other choices. So bakit entrepreneurship? So, unahin muna natin yung ibang choices. So, when we say cooperative, it is a private business organization that is owned and controlled by the people who use it as a products, supplies, and services. And when we say business, it is something that will make you money but might not have any uniqueness. So, yun lang yung pagkakaiba. And then, when we say management, it is the coordination and administration of tasks and to achieve the goal. So now the answer is entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship, so it comes from the French verb meaning to undertake. And dito maraming interpret or interchangeably nami-miss yung correct meaning ng entrepreneurship. So when we say entrepreneur, it pertains to the person. And the entrepreneurship, it is the process, and enterprise is the outcome. So entrepreneurship is the capacity and willingness to develop, to organize, and to manage a business venture along with along of its any risk to make a profit. Ayan, so kailangan willing kayong mag-take the risk. Okay, so for our question number 32. It is the acceptance of challenges and changes with open arms. Is one of the qualities of entrepreneur, which is A, risk taker, B, self-confident, C, task-oriented, D, future-oriented. Parang sabi ko lang ito kanina, ano? So again, for the question number 32, acceptance of challenges and changes with open arms is one of the qualities of entrepreneur, which is A, risk taker, B, self-confident, C, task-oriented, D, future-oriented. So what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer is letter A. So like what I've said a while ago, so in order to make a profit, you have to take the risk. So it has the ability to anticipate the risk and the future moves. So if they are beneficial to the enterprises, so you have to take the risk as an entrepreneur. Okay. For a while. Yan. So for question number 33, the key ingredients to entrepreneurship is to place on A, discoveries made, B, innovation, C, product sold, D, service offered. Again, for question number 33, the key ingredients to entrepreneurship is placed on A, discoveries made, B, innovation, C, product sold, D, services offered. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer in question number 33 is letter B, which is the innovation. Okay, so in business and entrepreneurship, it is important that you are highly competitive in the world that we live in. So innovative ideas are what will separate you from the rest. So in order to create an outstanding product or strong brand, if you want to build your customer network, so you need to be innovative. So some exciting ideas and concept. So that is the capability that will lead you to the marketplace. Then next, so for our question number 34, so which considered to be the best way to assess entrepreneurial projects or business ventures? A, price, B, product, C, packaging, D, promotion. Again, which considered to be the best way to assess entrepreneurial projects or business ventures? A, price, B, product, C, packaging, and D, promotion. So what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer in number 34 is of course letter B. It's the product. So in marketing, we have 4 P's. So product, price, place, and also the promotion. So product is one of the most important aspect. So without product, we cannot implement any one or other elements for the marketing mix. So a great products are easy to market as they serve both the need and wants of our customer or clients. Next. Next question is number 35. Okay, so from our societal viewpoint, which of the following statements about marketing objective is not true? Again, from our societal viewpoint, which of the following statement about marketing product is not true? A. Assist in the efficient allocation of resources. B. Create a wealth and promote economic growth. C. Improve income distribution among different sectors of the economy. D. Maintain instability of supply and demand, and market goods. So what is the answer in number 35? Okay, so the correct answer in number 35 is letter D. Okay, so everybody in Zoom room got the correct answer, and some of our FB Live viewers also answer letter D. Okay, so again, focus on the question. So the question is from the societal viewpoint, which of the following statement about marketing objective is not true. So ito yung tinutukoy niya, not true. So you need to be aware for this question. So the correct answer is letter D, which is maintain instability of supply and demand for market goods. So why letter D? Because the word instability, okay, when we say instability, it is the lack of stability or lack of being unstable. Okay, so sometimes the question is easy, and also the choices. So sometimes they trick you from question and the choices. So you have to be careful and you have to understand and read it carefully. Okay, so for number 36, so what document contains the overview of the step-by-step procedure of the whole business? A. Rationale of the project. B. Project proposal. C. Details of the project. And D. Description of the project. Again, for question number 36. It's number 36, sorry. So, what document contains the overview of the step-by-step procedure of the whole business? A. Rationale of the project. B. Project proposal. C. Details of the project. And D. Description of the project. Fine. Okay, so the correct answer in number 36 is letter B, which is the project proposal. So when we say project proposal, it describes the project and its purpose and also the outcome. Of course, the steps that will taken to complete the project. So it serves as a key management tool for the implementation of projects. It will also help you to make important decision, and of course to define the goals and objectives that need to monitor in the business performance. So while the other choices are uh, rationale of the project, so it is the statement of the facts explaining the background of the project, and then description of the project is it's the idea and context to explain the goals and objectives to be reached the business need in problem and to be addressed. So the potential pitfalls and also the challenges, approaches, and execution methods and resources. All right, for our next question. So, which of the following graph is useful in making percentage comparison? Which of the following graph is useful in making percentage comparison? A. Bar graph. B. Line graph. C. Pie graph. D. Volume graph. So what is the correct answer? Okay, so some of you in Facebook Live answered letter A and also letter B. So the correct answer is letter C, pie graph. Okay, so let's see. So this is the example of pie graph. So the pie graph has a pie charts that are generally used percentage or proportional data, and usually the percentage is presented by each category that is provided next to the corresponding slice of the pie. That is the pie chart. And the other choices is the bar graph. So this is the example of bar graph. We use this to represent categorical data with rectangular bars and heights. And then when we say line graph, we use lines to connect individual data points that display uh, quantitative values over the specified time interval. And then volume graph, it is a graphic that shows the earnings or losses of a company in relation to the volume of sales. So that is the difference of bar graph, line graph, pie graph, and the volume graph. Okay, next question. So in journalizing, the owner's withdrawal form, his firm, should be written on the A. Expenses. B. Debit. C. Capital. D. Credit. Again, in journalizing, the owner's withdrawal form, the owner's withdrawal from his firm should be written on the A. Expenses. B. Debit. C. Capital. D. Credit. Okay, so what is the correct answer?
It's debit po, ma'am.
Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, debit. Okay, so debit is a expense or amount of money that is paid from the account. For example, a cash account, purchase account, expenses account, and also the drawing account. So now, for you to have a short review, so what is journalizing? Okay, so when we say journalizing, it is the act of recording bookkeeping entries. So in your choices, we have the expense. So expense is the cost of the operation that a company incurs to generate revenue. And then in choices, we also have the capital, which is a term for financial assets, such as funds held in the deposit accounts, and also the funds that obtained from special financing resources. And then credit, we use it for entry that depicts a decreases in assets or an increase in liability. And now, the correct answer in this question is letter B, which is the debit. So it is the entry in the left-hand column of an account to record a debt. So again, let's back to question number 36. In journalizing the owner's withdrawal form, the owner's withdrawal form is firm. So it should be written on the letter B, debit. Okay. So the next question is, what is the term that best describes the total of cash, purchases, uh, customers' obligation to the business? Again, what is the term that best describes the total of cash, purchases, plus the customer's obligation to the business? A, assets. B, profit. C, liability. D, inventory. So some of you answer A, some of you answer D, and someone is answered letter C, liability. So what is the correct answer? The best term that describe the total of cash, purchases, and customers' obligation to the business. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A, which is the assets. So when we say asset, so those are the items of your company, company owns that can provide a future economic benefit. So for example, like cash, investment, inventory, office equipment, even your machinery, and even the company-owned vehicle. So that is the example of assets. And then when we say profit, this is the income minus all the expenses. And the liability, so alam natin kung anong meaning ng liability. So this is the obligation of the company or the organization, which is the amount that we owed to the lenders and suppliers. So ito yung mga hiniram natin. Ano, for example, bank debt, mortgage debt, uh, and ano pa, money owed to suppliers. And when we say inventory, this is the term of goods that available for sale and raw materials that used to produce available goods for the available for sales. Yan. Okay, so next question. So, what is the remainder after all the expenses have been deducted from revenues? What is the remainder after all the expenses have been deducted from revenues? A, gross income. B, service income. C, net income. D, repair income. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C, which is the net income. So net income, this is your take-home pay after the taxes and other payroll deduction. So gross income, this is the amount you earn before the taxes. So usually nakikita natin yan doon sa ating mga payslip, di ba? And then when service income, it is the income earned by providing technical consulting and other professional services. So yung mga nire-repair inside the company, so dito natin siya pinapasok. And then repair income is the expenses of a business that incurs to restore the previous operating condition or to keep an asset in its current operating condition. So baka malito kayo in service income and repair income. So service income, ito yung income earned by providing technical or consulting and other professional service. Repair income, usually ito yung ginagamit natin, expenses to restore, kung ano yung mga defects dun sa mga gamit inside the business. So for the next question, so to which financial reports are liabilities and capital added? To which financial reports and liabilities to which financial reports are liabilities and capital added? A. Income statement. B. Statement of cash flow. C. Statement of owner's capital. And letter D. Balance sheet. Yan, ang bibilis sumagot. Okay, so the correct answer is letter ng mga sagot. Okay, correct. So the correct answer is letter D, which is the balance sheet. So when we say balance sheet, it is a summary of company's assets, liabilities, and also the equity. And income statement is it pertains to the summary of business income and also the expenses and profits. Statement of cash flow, it is the company's cash flow activities, particularly in operating, investing, and financing. And then when we say statement of owner's capital, this is the account in which the owner's investment is recorded plus the net income earned by the company, so minus the draws made by the owner. All right, for our next question. Okay, so what do you call a portion of the hair structure extending above the skin surface? What do you call a portion of the hair structure extending above the skin surface? A. Follicle. B. Hair shaft. C. Strands. D. Hair root. So may nagsagot ng A, may nagsagot ng B, okay, so the correct answer in question number 40 is letter B, which is the hair shaft. So when we say hair shaft, it is the part of the hair that can be seen above our scalp. And then when we say hair follicles, it is the follicle that anchors into the hair, anchors to the hair into our skin. And then strands, of course in Tagalog, yung tinatawag nating hibla. And of course the hair root, ito yung matatagpuan to beneath the skin surface. Okay, so next question. So next is, what do you call to a portion of the hair structure found beneath the skin surface? This is part of the hair enclosed within the follicle. So, parang nabanggit ko din siya kanina, no? Dun sa question before the number 41. Again, what do you call a portion of the hair structure found beneath the skin surface? So this part of the hair is enclosed within the follicle. A, hair root. B, strands. C, hair shaft. C, letter D, sorry, follicle. Okay, so the correct answer in this question is letter A, which is the hair root. So it is found beneath on our skin surface. So it is a soft, thickened bulb of the base of our hair. So yung hair root natin, di ba minsan pag meron tayong nabubunot na isang hibla, meron tayong parang nakikitang bulb dun sa end ng ating hair. So that is the hair root. So next. Okay, so we are now in cosmetology. So, question number 42. A corrective makeup that makes small eyes appear bigger is A. Adding lines on the eyelids. B. Using dark colored eyeshadow. C. Using light colored eyeshadow. And letter D. Using mascara. A corrective makeup that makes small eyes appear bigger. Yan, para for those who are engaged in makeup or do sa mga mahilig mag-makeup, alam na alam siguro natin yan. Especially to the girls. Okay, so what is the correct answer? So what will we do if you have a small eyes and if you want to make appear it bigger? Okay, so someone is answered letter A and someone answered letter B. So the correct answer is letter A. Okay, so A, adding lines on the eyelid. So for example, pwede kayong maglagay ng eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, pwedeng sa above or below your eyes. So for you to make your eyes appear bigger. So when we use the dark colored eyeshadow, uh, it will help you to make your eyes appear smaller. And when we use a light colored eyeshadow, of course, it will give you a natural look or fresh look. And then when using mascara, we use the mascara we use this mascara for lifting and darkening our eyelashes. Okay, so next. Okay, Ella has acne problem, so she went to cosmetologist for an advice. Though she is under medical care, what would be the role of the cosmetologist? A. Work closely with the client's physician to carry out instruction as to the kind and frequency of facial treatments. B. Advise the client to stop the medication from the physician. C. She can have her own separate medication aside from the physician. D. Refuse and do not give further service. Again, Ella has acne problem, so she went to a cosmetologist for an advice. Though she is under medical care, what would be the role of cosmetologist? Okay, so what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer is letter A, which is work closely with the client's physician to carry out instruction as to kind and frequency of facial treatment. Okay, so why? No, bakit kailangan makipag work closely ni cosmetologist dun sa physician, client's physician? Okay, so the cosmetology is concerned to the beauty treatment. So cosmetology provides care for the skin and also for the hair and nails. So to avoid the allergy and to avoid the medical complication, so the cosmetologists need to coordinate or closely contact to the client's physician. Kasi kung hindi, baka mas ma-trigger or hindi mawala yung acne problem na tinatawag. Okay? So, for the next questions, how is highlight produced for corrective makeup? A highlight is produced when A darker foundation than the original one is applied to a particular part of the face. B. A lighter shade than the original one is applied to a particular part of the face. C. A medium shade similar to the original one is applied to a particular part of the face. And letter D. A shadow subdues or minimize prominent features. Again, for the question 44, how is highlight produced for a corrective makeup? So a highlight can produce when A, B, C, or D. Okay, so the correct answer in number 44 so is letter B, which is the a highlight shade than original one is applied to be particular part of the face. So, especially to the girls, we use a highlighter. So, ba't ba natin ginagamit yung highlighter sa ating mga face when we do our makeup? In our Zoom participants, meron ba ditong mga nag-a-apply ng makeup?
Minsan.
Ma'am Shara. Shara.
Occasionally po.
Occasionally. So, are you using a highlighter?
Um, Sometimes po.
Okay.
Pag
Kapag may mga okasyon lang, ano? Okay,
Opo.
so, thank you, Miss Shara. So, highlighter, it can be applied to the face or other parts of our body. So, ang purpose nito is to brighten the skin area. So, for example, ginagamit natin yung mga highlighter dun sa ah, ibabaw at taas ng ating kilay para mas ma-highlight yung kilay natin. So it also create a perception of depth and angle. So ayan. So again, kaya tayo gumagamit ng ating we use highlighter as a part of our makeup to brighten the skin on the given area. Okay? So for our next question, so if you have a larger full lips, how will you apply lipstick? A. Shade color at side lips. Keep corner lips around. C. Apply lipstick inside of lip line. D. Apply the entire lips with light color of lipstick. Again, if you have a full lips, how will you apply lipstick? So in our FB Live viewers, they answered B, they answered D, they answered C. So what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer is letter letter C. So we have to apply lipstick inside the lip line. Because kapag in-apply pa natin yung ating lipstick outside our lip line, mas lalong kakapal or lalaking tingnan. Magkikreate siya ng illusion na malaki, lalong lalaki ang ating lips. Then, baliktad din naman, vice versa, kapag tayo naman ay manipis ang lips, so we have to put the lip liner. So, nakikreate siya ng illusion, di ba? Usually, pag lip liner, sa labas ng labi natin, nagdo-drawing tayo para makapag-create ng illusion na medyo makapal yung ating lips. Okay. So, next. So, Olivia bakes cheese bread, forming a fairly firm and phosphorus structure. What gives structure to a cheese bread? A. Albumen. B. Gluten. C. Whey. D. Casein.
Mute po kayo, ma'am.
Letter B. Ma'am, hindi ka po naririnig.
Mute ko po. Mute ka, ma'am. We can't hear you, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, nakamute pala ako. Again, Olivia bakes cheese bread, forming a fairly firm, porous structure. What gives structure to cheese bread? A. Albumen. B. Gluten. C. Whey. D. Casein. So what is the correct answer?
Gluten.
Okay, so the correct answer in number 46 is letter B, which is the gluten. Okay, so gluten, it gives the dough the elasticity, and also it helps to rise and it keeps the shape and leaving the final product a chewy texture. So yung albumen, we all know that it is the part of the white in the egg. And then whey, we use whey in making dairy products. And casein is found in milk and cheese. So it is used for water binding. So for the chewy texture and to keep the shape, you have to use the gluten. So the correct answer is letter B. Okay, so next question. Food furnishes the body with the different nutrients it needs. Which of the following nutrients is needed as the main structural component of the body? A. Carbohydrates. B. Protein. C. Fat. D. Fiber. Again, the food furnishes the body with the different nutrients it needs. Which of the following nutrients is needed as the main structural component of the body? A. Carbohydrates. B. Protein. C. Fat. D. Fiber. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, which is protein. Okay, so FB live viewers also got the correct answer. Most of them answered letter B. Okay, so B protein, so it is the main constituent of the body. So also, it helps us in making up the muscles, of course, our internal organs, skin, and blood. So carbohydrates, we all know that it is the main source of energy. And then fat, when we say fat, it is the stored energy for the in the long term. So yung mga energy na hindi natin nababurn, it is stored as fat. And then of course fiber. So it also part of the fruits and vegetables that cannot be digested. So fiber is important in digestion. So sa ating digestive tract. Okay, for our next question. The practice of adding baking soda when cooking vegetable for the purpose of retaining the green color and the crispiness should be avoided primarily because A. The flavor of the vegetable is modified. B. Vitamin C is destroyed in the presence of alkali. C. They become less palatable. D. They become hard to digest. Again, the practice of adding baking soda when cooking vegetable for the purpose of retaining the green color and the crispiness should be avoided primarily because it's A, B, C, or D. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, which is vitamin C is destroyed in the presence of alkali. So this is a bad practice, ano? So it can also affect the softness of the vegetables, and it can also alters the vegetables flavor. So it can destroy the vitamins such as the thiamine content and also the loss of vitamin C. So instead, to retain the color green, so you can use you can shorten the cooking period or the cooking time, or choose another cooking method that preserve the color and also that retain the vitamin, like for example steaming, di ba? Hindi nababawasan yung crispiness and vitamins that present in vegetable. Okay, for our next question. So these are some of the guidelines in the conservation of nutrients in preparing fruits and vegetables, except A. Wash fruits and vegetables before peeling. B. Cut fruits and vegetables immediately before cooking. C. Pare fruits and vegetables immediately before cooking. And D. Allow frozen vegetables to thaw before cooking. Again, these are some of the guidelines in the conservation of nutrients in preparing fruits and vegetables, except wash fruits and vegetables before peeling. B. Cut fruits and vegetables immediately before cooking. C. Pare fruits and vegetables immediately before cooking. And letter D. Allow frozen vegetables to thaw before cooking. Okay, so the question is except. Okay, so what is the correct answer? All right, so the correct answer in this question is letter D. So this is the allow the frozen vegetable to thaw before cooking. So a frozen vegetable should not be defrosted because they can lose their crunchy texture, and also defrosting frozen vegetable can cause them to lose the flavor and also the nutrients, especially if you defrost them a day or two prior to cooking. So the correct answer is letter D. Okay, next question. When apples or potatoes are peeled and sliced, it will turn brown if not used immediately. To prevent this, you need to A. Soak in calamansi, lemon, or water in vinegar. B. Put this in hot water, then in cold water. C. Wash again after peeling. And letter D. Soak in oil. Again, when apples or potatoes are peeled and sliced, it will turn brown if not used immediately. So to prevent this, you need to A, B, C, or D. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A. Okay, so soak it in calamansi, lemon, or water with vinegar. So why? So potatoes and apple, it contains citric acid. So it slows the chemical reaction in preventing from browning. So once the fruit was cut or sliced, so the cell would be open and the enzyme has the access to oxygen. So kaya siya nagto-turn ng brown. So to help us to eliminate and avoid the turning brown of the sliced apples and potato, it you need to soak it in calamansi or whether in lemon or water with vinegar. Okay, for our next question. The smallest division of the metric scale that you can find in the steel rule is A. Decimeter, B. Centimeter, C. Milliliter, D. Meter. Again, it is the smallest division of metric scale that you can find in the steel rule. A. Decimeter, B. Centimeter, C. Milliliter, and D. Meter. So what is the answer? What is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer is letter C, which is the milliliter. So milliliter, we use it to measure something that is very small. Okay, this is the smallest division in metric scale. So decimeter, uh, this is a larger than milliliter, and centimeter is next to the smallest unit, and meter is more than 3 feet. So again, the smallest division is the milliliter. So ang sunod-sunod niya is the milliliter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer. Okay, for the next question, fastening materials are important in woodworks. The most common of these materials is A. Towel, B. Bolts, C. Screw, D. Nails. Again, fastening materials are important in woodworks, and the most common of these materials is A. Dowel, B. Bolts, C. Screw, D. Nails. Okay, so the correct answer is letter D, which is the nail. So nails is the most common use to fasten the pieces of woodwork. Okay, so that is the example of nails, uh, dowel, screw, and also bolts. So that is the difference of the four choices in the question. So dowel is a pin that used to fitting into a hole, and then bolt. So this type of fastener is usually made by metal that is commonly comprises with head, and then screw. So we use it to assemble the objects with threads. Next. Okay, so a wood product made of three or more veneer slices that are laid one upon the other and bonded with glue or synthetic resin is, again, a wood product made of three or more veneer slices that are laid one upon the other and bonded with glue or synthetic resin is A. Pressed wood, B. Plywood, C. Particle board, D. Softwood. So what is the correct answer? Okay, so for the correct answer, it's letter B, which is plywood. So plywood is made of the thin sheets or of cross-laminated veneer and glued together under heat and pressure. While pressed wood, it is made from wood veneers, wood shavings, and particles. So it sawdust or wood fibers banded together with an adhesive under heat and pressure. So particle wood, it is also known as chipboard, and it is manufactured from the wood chips and a synthetic resin or other suitable binder. And then when we say softwood, it refers to the lumber that has been cut from evergreen and coffinier trees. For our next question, so which of the following tools is used in checking the squareness of the corners and flatness of the surface? A. Straight edge. B. Steel square. C. Sliding bevel. D. Tri-square. Again, which of the following tools is used in checking the squareness of the corners and flatness of the surface? A. Straight edge. B. Steel square. C. Sliding T-bevel. And D. Tri-square. Okay, what is the correct answer? Okay, so from our room, someone answered letter D and letter B. From our FB Live, letter B, letter C, and letter D. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, which is the steel square. Steel square or carpenter square, also known as carpenter square, uh, used to lay out the square or the right angle. And then a straight edge. This is a tool that used for drawing straight lines or checking the straightness. And sliding T-bevel, we use it for setting and transferring the angles. While the tri-square, it used in making and checking the 90-degree angles on the pieces of the wood. So if you want to measure the squareness or the right angle, you have to use steel square. Next, a lumber that has been sawed, edged, and trimmed, in which cutting marks are visible is A, rough, B, smooth, C, dress, D, work. A lumber that has been sawed, edged, and trimmed, in which cutting marks are visible is A, rough, B, smooth, C, dress, D, work. So what is the correct answer? It's letter what? It's letter A or B? How about the other answer? A. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A, which is the wrap, or also known as unfinished board. Okay, wrap or unfinished board, it has been dried but not planed. Uh, and then smooth, it is finished lumber through drying and planing. And then the dress is also called surface lumber. It has been jointed and planed after it has been dried. And then work, it is a lumber that has been matched or lapped or patterned or molded. Next. All right. Uh, which lumber has been put through planing machine which give fine surface? A, rough, B, smooth, B, dress, D, work. Again, which lumber has been put through planing machine which gives fine surface? A, rough, B, smooth, C, dress, D, work. What is the correct answer? It's letter A or letter C? Okay, so I already mentioned it a while ago. So the correct answer is letter C, which is dressed. So it is also called surface lumber. Again, it has been jointed and planed after it has been dried. So that's why the correct answer is letter C, dressed or surface lumber. And in number 57, which is a plank of wood that has been roughly cut? Which is a plank of wood that has been roughly cut? A, timber, B, board, C, lumber, D, block. So what is the correct answer? Okay, so the correct answer is letter. Okay, the correct answer is letter C, which is lumber. So lumber is the untreated and cut into planks. So the other choices are timber. So it is considered by large and less of a processed wood product. It can also refer to intact trees which have not been cut. And then lumber, it is usually the wood that has been cut into standard size. And then board, it is a long flat slab or what we call sawed lumber. Okay, next question. So in number 58, which of the following is not a requirement to consider in proportioning concrete mixture? A. Economy. B. Workability. C. Strength. D. Flexibility. Again, which of the following is not a requirement to consider in proportioning concrete mixture? A. Economy. B. Workability. C. Strength. D. Flexibility. So it's letter A or letter D? Which one is the correct answer? So again, the question is, which of the following is not a requirement to consider in proportioning concrete mixture? A. Economy. B. Workability. C. Strength. D. Flexibility. So the correct answer is the letter D, which is flexibility. So, workability, this is the term describing how easily freshly mixed concrete can be mixed and placed or consolidated and finished. Strength and durability, it is important and needed. And when we say economy, it should be optimized for availability and, of course, for sustainability. That's why the answer is letter D, flexibility. Again, the question is which of the following is not a requirement to considering in proportioning concrete mixture? So you have to better analyze the question. Okay, next, number 59. So, what ingredient in concrete is added to the batch immediately before or during its mixing to improve its durability and accelerate strength and strength development? A. Fine aggregates. B. Coarse aggregates. C. Add mixtures. D. Water. So what ingredient in concrete is added to the batch immediately before or during its mixing to improve its durability and accelerate strength development? A. Fine aggregates. B. Coarse aggregates. C. Admixture. D. Water. So what is the correct answer? It's letter D or letter C. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C, which is admixture. Admixture, it is a formulated chemical compound that are used to modify certain properties of concrete. And then when we say fine aggregates, it is usually the sand or the crushed stone. And then coarse aggregates, it pertains to the gravel and also crushed stone. And then water, it acts as a lubricant for the aggregates and the only ingredients that react chemically to the cement. Okay, for our number 60 question, which of the following refers to the structural reinforcing member that holds or binds together the main reinforcement of a column? Which of the following refers to the structural reinforcing member that holds or binds together the main reinforcement of a column? A. Lateral tie. B. Stirrups. C. Spiral tie. D. Rebars or rebars. So someone answered letter B, other answered letter D, and there's also letter C. So which is which? Which is the correct answer? Okay, so in number 60, the correct answer is letter B, which is the stirrups. So this is so we usually it is made out of a rectangle steel pieces. So it is wrapped around the top and the bottom of the bar of the beams. So I have a picture here, so you can easily understand. So it is used to hold in a place that primarily reinforcement bar. Okay, so that is the example of a stirrup. So different kind of stirrups. So these are the closed loop tie uh, at regular intervals that holds the bar in the position. So we use it in beams and in columns. Okay, so when we say reinforcement, ito yung nagdadagdag ng tibay or nagpapatibay. So in layman's term, they also use it or they also call it rings, yung stir up. Okay, so for the next question, okay, so the structure that holds the poured concrete until it hardens to form the concrete beam or post. A. Scaffolding. B. Butterboard. C. Forms. D. Stake. Again, it is the structure that holds the poured concrete until it hardens to form the concrete beam or post. A. Scaffolding. B. Butterboard. C. Forms. D. Stake. So our FPLI viewer answered A, B, C. How about to our Zoom participants? Parang dalawa, tatlo na lang ang nakikita kong sumasagot. Okay, the structure that holds the poured concrete until it hardens to form a concrete beam or post. A. Scaffolding. B. Butterboard. C. Forms. D. Stake. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C. Forms. So forms, or what we call framework, it is a temporarily or a permanent molds which concrete or similar materials are poured. So generally, we usually remove once the concrete has again sufficient strength. Then, yung butterboards naman na tinatawag natin, so it is also a temporary frames that set beyond the corners of a plain foundation and precise elevation. And then when we say stake or construction staking, it is also known as the site layout survey. Itawag natin na stake. So now I have a picture here. So I want you to take a look at it. So this is the example of form. Ayan. So ito yung temporarily temporarily frame na nilalagay natin hanggang sa hindi pa nag-gain ng strength yung concrete na inilagay natin dyan. And then some of you also answered scaffolding. So when you say scaffolding, it is referred to the scaffold or staging. So usually it is a temporary structure that usually used during the construction of a building. So it provides safe spaces for the workers to move around and to carry out their tasks when it comes to the elevated area and elevated part of the building. So iba yung scaffolding, yan yung scaffolding, yan. Yung ginagamit nila to move around. And then forms, ito yung tinatawag nating form, yung nilalagay natin sa concrete pag binubuhusan natin ng simento. So tinatanggal natin yan kapag meron ng enough strength yung or tuyo na yung binuhusan nating poste. Okay, for our next question. So, concrete is said to be workable if it can be molded or deformed without segregation. The characteristic is known as A. Consistency, B. Plasticity, C. Mobility, or D. workability. Again, a concrete is said to be workable if it can be molded or deformed without segregation. This characteristic is known as A. Consistency, B. Plasticity, C. Mobility, or D. Workability. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, which is plasticity. So when we say plasticity, plasticity of concrete is it the gaining of any shape and size. So when the concrete is in the wet state, it is a plastic state. So kapag basa pa, ang tinatawag natin, kapag basa pa yung semento, ang tawag natin doon ay plastic state or yun nga ang tinatawag nating plasticity. So workability means it is a property that directly impacts the strength, the quality, the appearance, and even the cost of labor for placement and finishing operation. And then for mobility, it is the capacity for the concrete mixture to respond to vibration readily and to fill all the parts and the corners of a form, which is defined as mobility. So when we say consistency, it includes the entire range of fluidity from the driest to the wettest possible mixture. Okay. Okay, so for the number 63, for the question 63, okay, so which bulb in water service opens to admit air if the pressure within the water service falls below atmospheric pressure? A. Anti-vacuum. B. Gate. C. Vacuum. D. Calorifer. Again, which bulb in a water service opens to admit air if the pressure within the water service falls below atmospheric pressure? A. Anti-vacuum. B. Gate. C. Vacuum. D. Calorifer. So from our FB Live, most of the answer is letter A. While from our Zoom participants, most of the answer is letter B. So which is the correct answer? It's A or it's letter B? Okay, so the correct answer is letter B, which is gate. So gate, it is a bulb that has to turn a multiple times to go from open and closed position. So it is to slow the operation and also to prevent water from harmer effects. So they are designed to be fully open, so allowing it from full flow or also in fully closed. Uh, Inaalaw siya to fully open para dare-derecho yung pagpo-flow and inaalaw naman siya to fully close para ma-prevent natin yung pag-stop ng flow entirely. Okay? Okay, so I think we are now in the part or in the area of plumbing. Okay, so since we have a almost 20 minutes left, so I will review the first part so that hindi ninyo nakakalimutan kasi masyadong mahaba yung interval nung review natin since we start last March. So March, April, May, June. So I will discuss again some of the previous question. So on our next meeting, so probably we can directly proceed to plumbing. Okay? So for a while. Okay, so I think we can discuss 10 or 15 question for our remaining minutes. Okay, so for those who tuned us in FB Live, so again, this is your chance to review our last topic. Okay, so for the question number one, which is the art of building, which is the art of building with stone, bricks, concrete, blocks, and other similar materials? A. Carpentry, B. Concrete, C. Mortar, D. Masonry. Okay, so the correct answer in question number one is letter D, which is Masonry. This is the art of building with stone, bricks, and also concrete blocks. Again, the person who construct masonry is called the mason or the bricklayer. For the next question, what do you call the process of hardening of concrete? A. Curing, B. Setting, C. Hardening, D. Molding. Again, what do you call the process of hardening the concrete? A. Curing, B. Setting, C. Hardening, or D. Molding. Okay, so the correct answer is curing. So it is the process of maintaining adequate moisture in the concrete with the proper temperature. Next, for the question number 3, which is not a wrapping up tool? Which is not a wrapping up tool? A. Crane dowel, B. Cold chisel, C. Patent hammer, D. Claw hammer. Yeah, so you have to also familiarize yourself to the different equipment and materials, especially in carpentry and masonry. So again, which of the following, which is not a wrapping up tool? A. Crane dowel, B. Cold chisel, C. Patent hammer, D. Claw hammer. Okay, so the correct answer is letter D, claw hammer. So this is the tool. This is the tool for driving or pulling the nails. Okay, so wrapping up tools, this is usually the necessary process of preparing. Those are the materials that we need to prepare, arranging, forming, laying, and of course, shaping. Okay, so like what I've said, this is a part of your review. So the last remaining minutes. So masonry tools is classified into two categories. The first one is the wrapping up tools, and the second one is the surface finishing tools. Okay, so that is the example of wrapping up tools. So crane dowel, patent hammer, and cold chisel. So ito yung mga ginagamit natin in the process of preparing, arranging, forming, laying, and also for shaping. So surface finishing tools from the word finishing tools. So ito yung mga ginagamit natin. We have the floats and the trowels. Okay, so for the next question, which of the following are known as a coarse aggregates in concrete mixture? A, sand; B, soil; C, gravel; D, stone. So, kanina na-discuss din natin kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng coarse aggregates, fine aggregates, admixtures, and water. Okay, so which of the following are known as coarse aggregates in concrete mixture? A, sand; B, soil; C, gravel; D, stone. Okay, so some answer letter A, some answered letter C. So the correct answer is letter C, which is the gravel. So it is a mix of rock pieces and small rock. Okay, next. What material reinforced the structure of masonry materials? A, mortar; B, cement; C, steel; D, HCB. A, CHB. Again, what material reinforced the structure of masonry materials? A, mortar; B, cement; C, steel; D, CHB. Okay, so ayan, ang daming sagot, ano? Parang yung iba, nakalimutan na nila yung correct answer. Okay, someone answered letter A, also letter D, and letter B, and letter C. So all of the choices. So the correct answer is letter C, which is steel, or also known as rebar. So short rebar is the short for reinforcing bar. So steel or rebar, that is offers strength to the structures. Next. So the preparation of good quality lumber includes several stages. When it is dry, the process involved is A, seasoning; B, staining; C, lumbering; D, logging. Okay, the preparation of a good quality lumber includes several stages. So when it is dry, the process involved is, okay, so the correct answer is letter A. Okay, A for seasoning. So it is the process by which the moisture content in the timber is produced to required level. So by producing the moisture content, the strength and elasticity and the durability and the properties are developed. So yung pagpapatuyo dun sa pagpapatuyo ng kahoy or wood na tinatawag natin, ang tawag dun sa process na yon ay seasoning. So isipin nyo na lang, seasoning kasi kailangan niya ng matagal na preparation para matuyo. So dun sa process na yon, dun niya nag-gain yung strength, elasticity, and durability. So mahaba ang proseso kasi yun eh. Mahabang pag nagpapatuyo tayo ng wood, hindi naman siya ilang araw lang. So sometimes it takes a weeks and also a month para makapag-produce tayo ng quality wood and lumber. Next. Okay, a seasoned lumber is ideal for carpentry works. Which among of the following is best to use? A, sun-dried; B, nail-dried; C, air-dried; D, natural-dried. Again, a seasoned lumber is ideal for carpentry works. Which among of the following is best to use? A. Sun-dried. B. Kiln-dried. C. Air-dried. And D. Natural-dried. So most of the answered is letter A. Okay, so the correct answer in number 7 is letter B. It is kiln dried. So that is the wood that had been dried into oven. So kiln, ito yung kiln from the word kiln, that's mean oven. So with kiln, you can control the environment such as the temperature, humidity, and steam level para dun sa process to set a period of time. Okay, so always remember we have two methods in drying the lumber. So we have the natural drying and also the artificial drying. Okay, so we almost have 7 minutes. Remaining 7 minutes. Okay, so for the next question, there are numerous kinds of saw. So the one used by sawing along the grain of wood is called A. Rip saw, B. Cupping saw, C. Criss-cut saw, D. Back saw. Again, there are numerous kinds of saw. The one used by sawing along the grain of the wood is called A. Rip saw, B. Cupping saw, C. Cross-cut saw, and D. Back saw. Okay, so very good. You almost got the correct answer. So it's letter A. So again, sabi ko nga, we have a different kind of saw. So some of you nalilito kung ano ba yung pinagkakaiba-iba ng mga saw natin. So when we say cupping saw, so it is used to cut external shape and interior cuts. Ayan. Ito yung example picture of cupping saw. And then rip saw, it is designed to cut along the parallel grain. And then cross-cut saw, designed for cutting the wood across. Ayan. So minsan, marami nagkakamali at nalilito sa rip saw and cross-cut saw. So ang difference lang ng dalawa is na andito sa teeth or dun sa ngipin ng pinakang saw. Ayan. Okay, so ito yung pinagkaiba ng rip saw sa cross-cut saw. So naandito sa teeth yung difference ng dalawa. So the cross-cut is designed for cutting across the grain. So remember that, across, from the word cross-cut. And then the rip saw, it is it do not have a angled edge. All right. So next. So we almost have 5 minutes left. Okay, so the strongest form of wood joint applicable for table legs is A. Meter, B. Mortise and tenon, C. Dado or dado, D. Bat and lap. Okay, so the correct answer, the strongest form of wood joint that applicable for table legs is mortise and tenon. So letter B. So again, this is the picture of different kinds of wood joint. So when we say about the table legs, the applicable one is the mortise and tenon, this one. And then, for the next question, There is a considerable number of wood joints. The simplest and the easiest to make is A. Lap joint, C. Dado joint, C. Meter joint, D. Butt joint. Okay, the simplest and easiest to make. So what is the correct answer? The simplest and easiest to make, the wood joint. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A, which is the lap joint. Okay, so it can be used to join, lap joint can be used to join the wood together, so it can be secured by glue, nails, glue and nails or other methods. So that's why it is the simplest and easiest. Okay, so that is the example of types of welded joints. Okay. So next, who are the people responsible and assigned to check if your plumbing connections are appropriate? A. Building inspector, B. Engineer, C. Foreman, and D. Plumber. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Who are the people responsible and assigned to check if your plumbing connection are appropriate? A. Building inspector, D. Engineer, C. Foreman, D. Plumber. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A. It is a building inspector. So building inspector is the one responsible to check and see the certain standard and safety. So engineer, it deals to the designing and planning. Plumber is the person who install and repair the pipes and fittings of water supply. While foreman is responsible for organizing the overall construction. Okay, I think for our last question, because it's already 7:59. Okay, for our last question, in plumbing work, what kind of tool is used to tighten or to loosen the bolts and screw head? A. Basin wrench, B. Pipe wrench, C. Pliers, and D. Adjustable wrench. Okay, so the correct answer in number 12, in plumbing work, what kind of tool is used to tighten and to loosen the bolts and screw head? Okay, so the correct answer is letter D. Letter D, adjustable wrench. So that is the picture example of adjustable wrench. Okay, so ang ina-adjust natin dito sa wrench is yung to loose and to tighten the bolt and screw. Okay, so it's already 8 o'clock. So I think that's all for today for a while. Okay, so I hope everybody, all of you learn and gains knowledge today. And I hope that every one of you can join again on our next meeting. May natutunan po ba tayo for our today's discussion? Okay, so I would like to thank everyone, especially our viewers, FB Live viewers, and of course our student and participant who registered in our Zoom room meeting. So I hope everybody of you can join again on our next meeting. So probably matapos natin yung ating almost 150 questions. So for those who interested in enrollment for the TLE major, you can contact directly or message the page of Teacher A. So aside from TLE major, they offered different major like English, professional education, general education. So for the information, just message directly to the page of Teacher A. So again, uh, it's been almost 2 hours, so I hope all of you are fine and you can now rest. Again, thank you so much everyone for listening, and hopefully next meeting magkita-kita ko ulit tayo para madagdagan ng ating knowledge para sa preparation ninyo sa inyong upcoming LET examination. Good luck everyone and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone. Good night. You may now rest.
Kilala mo si Jimboy? Kilala mo si Jimboy?
Bye, ma'am.
Diyan pala yung Jimboy sa inyo? Diyan pala? Sino? Agatin ko yung dede niya. Patubigin ko yung dede niya. Higain ko yan. Hindi ako tumawag ni Marisa kanina? Ha? Nag-ano na kayo? Sabi naman wala. Buang talagang tao na to. Sige, anytime naman. Wala nang pagtaglamig. Higain ko yan dere mo. Baka magsisi ka. Ha? Buti pa sila. Buti pa sila. Nag-reply sa'yo siya. Di ba nag-message ka? Engineer? Ano sabi? By this day? Aba ka may gabi. Baka bukas. Hindi niya maintindihan yun. Magtagalog ka eh. Buti hindi mo inarabi. Hindi niya maintindihan yun. Sinayang pa ni Malisa ang load ko. Sabi niya, hindi ka daw nag-text sa kanya. Patawag tuloy ako.